And yes, it's actually truly Black Forest. So let's turn off the fog for us. Obviously, it doesn't make any kind of difference on this map. And right off the bat, we see something interesting. Well, looking at the trade routes, possible trade routes, there's going to be one for the RFRs from the bottom, from about here. Actually, that's not probably going to be true, because looking at how curiously it is positioned, this patch of tree, and more like this big one, is going to be quite problematic, and they might have to actually clear away through some sea challenges, as obviously, yep, that's not going to be all that easy for the trade cars to choose the correct way, as they might be forced to go through the middle here, yeah, which wouldn't be ideal at all. But let's return to that after we see the early action. Yeah, the action for the next 15 minutes and the wall-in at the very start. We can see that Beta is right now doing a pretty good job with just one villager, as it's right next to his stone base, so that's not really far away, and if he happened to be encountering some kind of opposition, that would be pretty much easy for him to replace with some extra release. River Plation just right now, trying to scout it, and in a very right about now to finish with the wall-in, and he will be trying to basically capture this hill, as it's going to be maybe important in the next course of the game for potential some archers. We see 3 willies from red coming to the right side from Spaden, who will be trying to basically maybe even use this stone as part of the wall, and this will be very close to green. That's actually very, very close. I'm kind of curious why green isn't already sending some willies in. As he definitely should, because this is very close to him. He's sending just one villager, and he might actually lose him. It will depend on this full flank, I guess. Oh, yeah, there is actually a loom already for Spaden, and let's see if he can. Oh, yeah. Oh, well. Not good news for Twig, who is going to lose a villager here. Or maybe not even lose, but this is pretty much the problem that you are facing when you are sending just one villager and an opponent is sending quite a lot of extras. He's sending 3, and he will be basically owning the whole passage here, which is quite problematic for his opponent, as obviously if he wants to defend this, that's quite a lot of extra space, and it will be very, very problematic to do anything about, as obviously there's not much hill here on the right side to build even a castle or town center, and yeah, this is going to be quite a lot of advantage for Tvig, or rather for Spaden, who will be making use of this stone quite early as well. Looking at the bottom, wall is finished for River Plation. Oh, not fully though. I'm not exactly sure if he realizes. He definitely should, because if he doesn't, well, that's going to be a bit of a surprise. He's having a 1 tile free here. Definitely 1 tile free. Now, that's not going to be quite nice for him. I'm kind of thinking that he doesn't realize, and this might be basically a Titanic move right at the start when the first offensive from Beta is coming in. And looking how Beta is Mongols, it probably isn't going to be all that fast. If it was maybe Spanish, that would be, but Spanish is Beta, or rather bullet, in the middle here. And if he chooses to go through the bottom, well, that could be something that might disrupt the game, or rather decide it very soon, because if Conquistadors get through, yeah, they will be wrecking any kind of economy from their opponents very soon. And very fast, of course. The Willies are basically staying here, and this basically tells me that Spaden is going to be having this military buildings very close to the offensive line, and also I'm kind of thinking that he's maybe attempting to shorten or rather thin the line here, the wood line, and potentially make his way through around the walls and surprise his opponent from the very top. In the middle, there's still no wall. Well, okay, so nobody walling in the middle. It almost seems like they are actually leaving it open for some early raiding. Well, so far that's not probably going to happen. But with the wolf here, that's, yeah, has to be careful. But with the loom in place and with the scout cavalry as well, and potentially with help from bullet, yeah, that might be pretty much enough. And with the engagement of the scout cavalry soon, yeah, or rather sooner, it's not much damage into the Willy, and she will just finish here. But with the extra wolfie, it's going to be yet another Willy fight with the castle, or rather with the wolf. You can also see a bit of a messages with River Plation actually talking about feud sling. That's probably going to be a strategy here, and a bit of a wolf train as well for River Plation, who is also having, yeah, he's also having loom, so he's not going to lose the villager. But is he going to build the wall around here. He probably should, to at least capture this gold, which might be quite important because obviously all the gold mines that you can get are going to help you. As especially when you look at the gold mine at the very back, but look at how it's basically safe between Lele and River Plation. This is just going to be a question of some 2-3 shots from siege onagers, and yeah, they are through. Carried by the wolf. Quite interesting clearing right here. There is a bit of a stone protected in the same way behind RFR's base, but besides that, not much else, but 3 boars. I'm just hoping they are actually not rats. No, they aren't. He's having his boars right inside, and oh, that's a lot of boars. That's actually a ton of boars for Bullet. That's not really all that usual from what I remember of Black Forest. And this should be a pretty huge boost for him in the early economy, because he definitely doesn't need to switch into farms anytime soon. Even though he's having just one here right now built, he definitely doesn't need to do that, because those boars, there are so many of them that he's going to be butchering them, maybe even when the players are all in the Castle Age. First we release right now from Beta, who is playing the Mongols here, and we see also that the civilizations are proper mirror. I haven't really talked about that earlier, with Tvik finishing with the wall in here, and yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about, as he's having built a bit longer wall, and yeah, this is definitely a huge advantage for Spaden. He will be basically dropping a castle around here, I would be guessing, to deny this tree line, and basically open his way into his opponent's base, and have a pretty decent defensible position right at his doorstep, and well, let's see how well Tvik will react to that. Bit of a pond at the back with a wolf yet again, and a bit of a stone. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as on the left side for the team of RFR, but otherwise, a villager right now going through, and he will be basically building a wall here, which is some kind of attempt by Klrz to at least buy some kind of map control in the middle, which is definitely a good idea because they have lost the battles, or other battles, yeah, let's say battles for the map control at the bottom and especially at the top. Okay, so looking somewhere else, something interesting in here. Probably not much, looking at the amount of villages we see Beta at 20, with Bullet at 26. So let's switch into Beta to see what he's doing. Well, he's idling at this point, but this pond doesn't seem to be having all that many fish to warrant any kind of dock, and we don't really see all that many ponds here, just one that could be used at the bottom, and it's having quite a lot of fish. It's having 3-5 fishing spots, so that could actually be worth it to build a dock here for some boats. Let's see if somebody takes it, and yep, yet another hidden resources here. Hidden resource at the very left with the stone for the replacement. Just a few shots from the Mangonel or other onagers, and that's going to be his. Proper scout that. That's a bit of a problem for Bullet because he won't be able to help scout his opponents if they break through sometime soon. I'm not exactly sure if he's not seeing it. This seems to be on purpose at this stage. Because I can't really believe he will be building a second row of walls without noticing this part being open. Let's just see if he finishes with the last one on the right side. Because this is super curious to me. Maybe he's luring his opponent in for some kind of plan. Well, I'm not exactly sure. But that might be it. He might be leaving just the room open for his scout to go in. To potentially break through the palisade walls and go for some early raiding. Because he's yet again leaving it wide open, but finally here he's building stone wall, and this is basically what he was waiting for. Oh yeah, so this is the reason why he didn't finish, even though I'm not exactly sure why then he did water with the second road of wall, but with this very nice position in the map and choke point of just 2 stone walls, this is going to be so easy for him to defend before the onagers come in to make some decisive push into the tree line. So market coming up for Spaden and Castle Age for Tvik, but Beta is already through. I'm going to switch into some achievements in here. So far, not any kind of slinging coming in from either of the players. And let's have a look how many TCs are the players building. Beta is having 1, 2, so far just 2. Finishing with the stone wall as well, right next to his opponent, of course. We don't really see any extra TC so far, so that's just 2. for him. Castle Ages right now for Twig, Bullet, Lele, Double Bit Axe and Horse Collar for Twig as well, so he's going to be having quite decent economy. But Beta as well, as he's going for Horse Collar and Ballsaw, who is in Castle Age right now. Nobody yet, just Beta, so we don't really have anything to look at right now. And this could definitely be a very surprise way into Green's base, as he doesn't have any kind of line of sight in here, not any kind of outpost or whatever. So this could be a bit of a surprise, as obviously this is wide open for Spaden, and as he is a Celt, or Celt, however you want to pronounce it, he could be having a very easy way through here. And it might be a bit of a problem for Twig, who is Mongol, and if he is disrupted soon enough, well, yep, not ideal. Finally, some very nicely positioned outpost from Red player, who is going to be seeing what's happening right in the opponent's base, which is also going to be pretty important, and basically scratches the idea that I had a bit earlier with castle being dropped right here. So it's going to be a castle somewhere farther, and not maybe even a castle very soon, because obviously as a Celt he will be first going for the siege workshop. Finished wall in here with the houses from both sides. Kind of provisory wall, not really finished. And quite a lot of walling coming in with yet another TC for Beta. It's right now going to be at 3, and we are just waiting for each of the players to advance into the Imperial Ages and start with some kind of offensive. And that's going to be still some minutes. So let's switch or rather look at the players, how they are developing their economies. Second TC for Lele. And third at the very top. So that's so far 4 TCs for him. It's a pretty nice boom. Vic is already in Castle Age as well, and as a Mongolian player, he's having 3 TCs. Yep, that's 3 TCs for him. And for Red, that's Spaden, who is having 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and it's maybe a 4th being built here. No, it isn't, because it will be kinda risky, but also kinda interesting situation for him, as it would be basically an easy defense for him in case of some kind of early attacks, but yeah, so far not happening. And for the pocket, that's the Spanish bullet, he's having 1, 2, 3 TCs, 4 TCs, so that's a 4 TC boom, so that's a pretty much standard. And let's go back to the first player who was to Castle Age, and that's Beta, who is still having 3 TCs and seems to be pretty much content with this course of action. Gathering a lot of stone, back obviously, as he is a Mongol. And let's check again into the achievements if somebody is slinging. Well, that's a miniature sling. Sling from Bullet into his ally. Yellow just right now scouting here in case something was happening, and well, that's going to be just an extra wall. And really, I don't really think anything is going to be happening inside the middle, or rather through the middle, as definitely RFRs are thinking that they will be able to push through the right side, especially with the siege workshop right now coming in from Spaden, and I'm kind of thinking that more will follow, and I will be fully expecting that Bullet will be going there as well with the Paladins in the Imperial Age. So far, not really any kind of castles coming up from Beta, and there's still quite a lot of time before he advances into Imperial Age and goes full on into the Mangudais. So let's have a look inside their opponent's bases, and that's going to be Reverblation, who is having 3 TCs at a very condensed space. And he might be wanting to actually develop a bit further, somewhere around here, so that he actually has some way away from this position. Because obviously, if he is attacked hard and doesn't receive enough help, he will be in a pretty bad position, as he will be losing basically absolutely everything in his base, and that's not going to be helping him in surviving the game even longer. Well, let's see if that's going to be happening here. But he invested quite a lot in the walling, so he will be pretty much safe for at least the early Imperial Age. But looking how the trade route should be coming from somewhere around here, it might be a bit problematic for them. There's basically a highway built even by the game itself, and the trade route will be finishing somewhere here. And this is definitely looking like a much better trade route than RFRs can muster. They will be mustering from around here to maybe here. Seems to be the longest so far, but it will be yeah, a bit problematic because I see a lot of choke points in here. This one will be problematic. These two as well. Now, especially if they choose to go through the top side, the trade cards, this will be a problem, and oh well. Ah, yeah, this is very tight. This is just like two squares, and this is definitely going to be quite tight, and they will need to enlarge it. Pass, I kind of shots from the edges, but first offense is right now coming in into green space, so he's trying to reinforce the wall in, but quite late. And with the amount of mangonels right now coming in from Spaden, he will be able to control what is happening in here, and maybe forcing Twig to build some walls somewhere else. A good shot. A good shot from the Soul Mangonel of Twig, but looking how he will be probably forced to build a wall about here, I would be thinking that he will be using the lumber camp with the siege camp, or rather siege workshop, but yet again, he will be relinquishing quite a lot of important ground. And if he cannot muster something against that, he will be in a bit of a problem. Right now he's through Spaden, so is he going to go into offensive here? Oh yeah, he's going in, but with the Mangonel very nicely placed here. And in tight quarters, oh, yeah, I was hoping for a bit of a shot in here, right inside the gates, that would be killing like at least 2 or 3 of them. Bit of a repair right now needed. And let's have a look somewhere else if some action is happening, for example on the left. So far not, and not any kind of a signal that there is going to be any action. Just a lot of houses coming in, so obviously a preparation is coming in for the full on attack from the teal player. Not much real happening for a representation either. So let's stay at the right side, where the offensive is in full swing. Spaden is right now through, and he's losing. He has actually lost quite a lot of them. He has lost all three mangonels that he did have here, and he has killed 3 mangonels from Twig, so it's basically 1 for 1. And this could be one up, and he will be killing this villager very soon, without even finishing the wall. Yeah. And he will be needing to send quite a lot of extra village Twig here, and really I think that he should be thinking about extra wall line about here, because this is going to be quite hard for him to defend, especially when he is still at the shorter end of the line here, or of the rope. And definitely right now he's going to be having quite a lot of problems, as he's having just the siege workshop and some monks. Not exactly sure that's going to be the correct unit composition for the game so far. Yep, goodbye, and well, they are full in. So is there something happening from yellow who should be helping him as the Spanish player, who should be, or rather, well, whatever. He should be helping with the mangonels, and not really Twig, who is playing Mongols, who should be basically concentrating on booming and advancing into Imperial Age for the Mangudais. But so far not happening, and this was a pretty good shot. And full on Willy fight. Yeah, oh wow. That was a pretty nice shot at the very end. Pretty nice shot at the very end, and this could be a pretty good moment for Bullet to join in a Spanish with some castle unit like Conquistadors, because obviously those Conquistadors, if he was able to actually pull them through here, through the wall, which is unfortunately for them right now being finished, that would have been quite exactly as I said at the very beginning. And they definitely did have the opportunity. It's a bit of a shame they didn't go for it, but they seem to be playing it safe at this stage, and advancing into Imperial Age, both Bullet and Bait right now. And yeah, they are having pretty strong economy. You can see, oh well, that's pretty beastly. Bullet 125, Bait 124. Whereas their opponents, the best is Lale at 97. Well, this might not even be all that long Black Forest, because this is a very huge difference in the armies here, and I'm kinda thinking that Klrz won't be able to stop even the initial push. And you can see also that Lale is going full on to the left side, which is also pretty interesting decision, leaving Twig basically on his own, as they are thinking that the full swing of the attack is going to be coming from the left. But so far I don't really see anything like that happening. And yeah, it's definitely not going to be happening in here, and the Klrz are preparing on the wrong side. Oh well, this is going to be quite interesting to see castle coming up for some bow traders, but I'm much more interested in the amount of onagers that Spaden is going to be producing soon, as obviously with the support of those paladins from Bullet, yeah, this is going to be not anything that the Mongolian player, the Twig, is going to be able to stop just by himself. And there's absolutely no, or rather there are absolutely no buildings, no military buildings from yellow, nowhere near, and he will be forced, marked right now, coming in to go all the way from the left, and that might be just a bit too late to save Twig here. Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting indeed. This is quite tightly packed, so I'm not exactly sure that the that the initial push is going to be coming through this wall here. It might be just waiting for siege on edges. Beta going for on edges, left for siege on edges, and I would be fully expecting for Beta to go somewhere else, like either through the bottom, right into the opponent's base. Well, that could be quite deadly. Or just go to the middle, and that will be basically the same, even though it might not be all that bad, as obviously with the castle coming up here and all those buildings, they should be pretty easy to defend for Lele. So let's see what they choose, or rather where they choose to go from. Spaden is right now already through the walls here, and with the knights coming in, with cavalries being researched, yeah, this might be a very fast and fort Twig. So let's see about that. The castle is very nicely positioned, the second one also. And this is university just for some ballistics, but look at how he's sending all those extra ballies in. This might not be good enough. Beta is getting, or rather paying, a bit of food tribute. Bullet is paying tribute to Beta. That's probably for the research into elite Mangurais, which is quite expensive. And let's see. Paladins will be coming in, rather right now. Let's switch into Bullet. Oh yeah, this is going to be pretty fast Paladins in here. And quite a lot of stables, so this is definitely developing into something that Vic won't be very happy about. Is at least Lele sending some villagers in. No, he isn't. He isn't at all. But he is very nicely preparing on the left with siege on edges, and he's already, yeah, fading his way through the forest. And he's going to attack around the wall, which is definitely something that should be happening, as obviously this is too tight to have any kind of reasonable fighting, especially against on edges. And let's see if they can surprise their opponent Beta. Right now he seems to be noticing exactly what is happening here, so he was paying quite enough attention, and he's going to be switching to the left, yeah, with all those trees, and Mangurais should be trickling in from his castles very soon. He's already having something inside the castle. I'm going to switch into the main battlefield right soon. There may be a decent amount of Mangurais, but let's switch to the right side, where Spaden together with Bullet have broken through and will be harassing all those Mangurais. They are not really all as numerous as Betas. Those two castles together with the town center are pretty much all that stands before, before Twig's elimination, and he definitely has to hope that they will be enough, because if they aren't, he will be in a pretty tough situation, and with a very nice sneak into the right side, I'm not exactly sure how he got there, probably just through the wall. Yeah, there's absolutely no way that he could have gotten there anyhow else. Because there's absolutely no way cut through the forest here, but this is very nice and sneaky, and unfortunately for him, Twig did or rather find this, but it might be just too late, because obviously with all those buildings right on his doorstep, yeah, this is going to be attacked from two fronts, and with this one being wide open, and Cavaliers tricking in together with Paladins, or rather, being Paladins very soon, yeah, this is going to be quite hard for him to deal anything about. Petards, this is a pretty good idea. Unfortunately for him, very well spotted by Twig, who is getting rid of it, and well, they definitely need to concentrate their attacks a bit better, as even though they are not attacking so far though, they are attacking the trade route, which is just as powerful in here. So let's have a look how he's looking on the left, where Beta did see what was going to happen to him. So he has already vacated all those trees, and he has moved them to the left, and he's basically just biding his time for the correct moment. And even though those halberdiers together with those siege are pretty numerous, so that's a pretty convincing attack from Lele. And I don't see any kind of army from blue, so I would be expecting a sling. Let's quickly check. Yeah, River Rotation is fully swinging into Lele, so let's see if Lele can actually kill Beta. Well, he definitely could, because he has killed a castle already, and they are maybe not so far realizing that he's been slugged, which basically means that Beta shouldn't be able to kill him, but with some proper micro, and wow, that was a pretty good shot, killing all three at once. Well, good job, and if he can get some extra shots like that, well, into those remaining on edges in here, well, he definitely will be on his way to defeating him. Well, finally some extra help from Bullet, because definitely this is needed in here at the south battlefield, and without any kind of support of those halberdiers who are slowly but surely getting killed by all those Mangurais and whatnot. It's a pretty good job in here. Yeah, those trebuchets might be killed very soon as well. Let's switch to the right side, where it seems that those Paladins, together with trebuchets and other siege from RFR are doing their job. They have already killed the castle. And if they can kill the second castle as well, I'm kinda thinking that Vic would be out of the game because he doesn't have anything else. The trade route is basically killed for Klrz, and I don't really think there's going to be anything that they can do about it, because without trade route that's going to be very hard to do anything. And for Vic without army it's going to be even harder. He right now has basically just a possibility of some kind of monks, but it's not going to last all that long, as obviously with just one monastery and having just one castle this is really problematic, and he's going to lose the castle without any kind of problem, as those trebuchets are well in range and absolutely out of reach of those Conquerors. So goodbye castle and pretty much goodbye army, and this is just going to be a question of spamming enough halberdiers and getting rid of the rest of the army, and that's pretty much going to be it. Finally a bit of a help from Lele, who is recognizing that he needs to help us ally with some siege managers and whatnot. So let's have a look at the left, where it seems like that he's actually forced back with the concentrated effort of Bullet together with Lele, or sorry, with Beta. They have been able to stop, and we even see heavy scorpions. Well, you don't really see them all that often, but that's definitely a pretty much a correct unit against the onslaught of all those halberdiers. Seems like pretty much a surprise attack by... Well, I was going to say surprise attack that they might be going through right to the heart of their opponents, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but they seem to be just basically enlarging this space so that they have a bit more maneuvering space for themselves. Oh, this is aiming for some very nice exchange of stones from those onagers. Wow, that's a lot of them. Looking at the right side, there's not much happening, just basically Spade and owning absolutely everything. I just want to see the utter destruction of all those onagers. It's going to be inevitable happening, and yep, Lele has lost quite a lot of them right now, and it really seems like the Beta is doing quite a lot better job with the micro here, and he has definitely won the micro battle, and he has killed absolutely everything from Lele. And let's switch to the left side, or rather to the right side, where Twig is basically killed. He doesn't have anything at all, and he's not even retreating. He's having 41 villages. Yeah, he's basically out of the game at this stage, and there shouldn't be any way through, or rather any way back for him. He's at least been able to rebuild the castle, but with the amount of paladins together with those siege rams and also the halberdiers, this is pretty much it. And River Plation is already asking about the GG his team, and I'm kinda thinking this is really it, because there's no way that we can go back into the game. And looking at the left side, even though Lele is doing a pretty good job, it's pretty much not enough, because he's full slung by River Plation, and even though he's having this kind of advantage, he's not able to push through Beta together with the help from Bullet, which is not really all that big, but even those few paladins are just good enough together with the bombard towers. There's absolutely no way that he can go through right now. This is just basically pretty much the correct course of action, as they are basically just making sure that Lele cannot go anywhere. They're just going to stay, or rather force him to stand his ground, whereas on the right side they will finish with mopping the Vig's base and then arriving at the doorstep of Lele and finishing him from the right side. They don't even need to do it from the left. Some wood traders from Spaden, from the castle that he has built quite a lot earlier, and with the amount of trebuchets here, it's just going to be a question of time, and I would be waiting for a bit of an onagers. Yeah, they are here to basically nullify the walling, and this is pretty much going to be it. Okay, so on the right side, this is pretty much a finish or complete mop-up, with Twig having just 7 villages, 6. And where are the last ones? They are actually here. 3 villages in here. With a TC actually, so he can still make a comeback, but I'm not exactly positive that's going to be happening. And basically it's some kind of Hail Mary from Lele in the middle, who is trying to possibly go through here. Yet again, into the heart of the trade route, maybe do some damage. But to be honest, I'm not exactly sure that's going to be successful in here. Pretty nice army composition of the siege. Rather heavy scorpions together with siege onagers. And a lot of bombard tower spam, and well, it seems like this is pretty much enough, because obviously the armies from Lele are consisted of a lot of halberdiers together with siege onagers, and he doesn't need to build anything, just micro better with those scorpions, and he will be able to kill absolutely anything that is killer. There are killers throwing at him. Yeah, you can see that Purple is not even sending any kind of paladins in here, just the few that were left here, and quite a lot of bombard towers, and they are slowly but surely eating at the opponent's base. River Collection has actually switched from slinging into normal knights, but unfortunately for them it's way too late, and with the Boba being pretty much finished on the right side, and very strong attempt into offensive from both Spaden and his ally Bullet. Yeah, this is pretty much it. GG's are gold, and Lala is the last one who is going to be having a bit of fun trying to finish this siege workshop, which he probably will, and just about now, but that's not going to be a long lift. Buru villager is going to die for his country. GG being called from Lele, and very nicely controlled and very nicely played from RFR, and they definitely knew what they were doing from the very start. So pretty nicely played, and this was exactly as important as we thought at the very start of the game. Yep, this is how important walling is on Black Forest. If you can steal the whole choke point, you are in a pretty big advantage, and if you build a wall right next to the opponent's base TC, which was right here, you are having a pretty huge shot at winning the game. So, well played. Very nice sneak build at the back. And on the left side, very nicely controlled by Beta, even against Salank Lala. Okay then, so let's have a look at the achievements. Let's have a look at the achievements, how the players were doing. With Beta being the MVP, well, he was booming quite safely without any kind of problem, but Spaden as well. And Bullet also, and I would actually be thinking that Spaden was the most important player in the game, because he was the one who was able to steal the choke point and basically put the strongest player from RFR, or rather from Klrz, out of the game very soon and make his life miserable. As he was Mongolian, he wasn't able to help his team enough. Bullet, and most units killed, but he was having the Paladin, so he was killing probably, I would be guessing like 150 of those are going to, or rather about 100 are going to be villagers from Twig. Oh well, this is kind of sad. Units lost to 58, whereas 146 killed, but these were just basically those halberdiers that he was throwing at his opponent, and they weren't doing as well as he would have hoped. Very nice link, but unfortunately for Klrz, it wasn't really nearly enough to change the course of the game. It was even sending quite a lot of resources to Twig. That was probably at the very end, because I don't remember it being there earlier when I was checking. 96 villages, and he ended up with like about 5 or 6. Sometimes happens. And well, GG then.